Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ironside cast. With me Matt, where we are on a 2v2 here on Rails and Metal on the Western Front. Let's go through the players. Representing the Allies today, we have Maverick as the United States without commander choice yet, and Smokey straight out the Gateway Rifle Company for the United States of America. Representing the Axis today, we have Kakaboo as the Waffen SS without a commander choice, and Arranged Karma straight out the Gateway Panzer Division for the Wehrmacht. We'll have to see how this turns out for them. Rails and Metal is a pretty decent 2v2 map. Back from the original Company of Heroes and then port to Company of Heroes 2, I believe, at some point early on. Looks like America has gone for mechanized. The Storm Pioneers have been rushed up to the trench here to just serve as a blocking maneuver at the moment. Well, the Americans are quickly getting position here. I feel these Pioneers might be a little bit in over their head. But they're actually doing a good job against the American Riflemen thanks to being in the trench here. We're actually not getting on the flank though. And we have some Fox Grenadiers being pushed forwards here by the Wehrmacht. They might try and attempt the Brandflash if they had the munitions, but they don't. You know, the Americans have also taken up hold in this building over here, having a long fight with the Storm Pioneers. Looks like Kakaboo is just going for triple Storm Pioneer, no Storm Grenadier. Going for a very assault-heavy build by the looks of it. More American Riflemen are reaching the front line, but the light cover is not going to help against the accurate fire of the Grenadiers at long range. The Grenadiers are pretty damn good at long-range combat thanks to their Kar-98s. Quickly getting behind some heavy cover though, that'll certainly help. Meanwhile, the Americans have called in some mechanized cavalry troopers here. Unique squad available to US mechanized. Pretty decent squad, all things considered. I personally like them, and looks like they are being used over riflemen, which is a thing you can do with them. They can basically perform all the duties riflemen can, but I think they have even less anti-tank capabilities, unless you actually get them to veterancy and grab them a bazooka. Meanwhile, looks like the Wehrmacht is about to be overrun by American rifle fire. Brandflash being tossed behind the damaged Stuk. Rifleman squad makes it into the trench. Oh, and A1 Garants are ripping into the Germans. Need the Germans on full retreats. And Maverick is complaining about the Storm Pioneers being good. For their cost, they should be good though, because they are not cheap. Much like the Storm Grenadiers that Waffen SS has access to, they are pretty damn good at what they do. But they have no anti-tank capabilities whatsoever, apart from the Rakettenpanzerbüchse, the Panzerschreck, and Veteran 2. So they are pretty vulnerable to early vehicles, unlike the Storm Grenadiers, which can get a Panzerfaust or a anti-tank rifle grenade. But that is a lot of mechanized riflemen here, and they are pretty damn competent too. But in these long-range heavy cover firefights, the Storm Pioneers have the upper hand. At least for now. That could of course change. The Americans after all bring up a 30 caliber machine gun, which I don't think the Storm Pioneers can handle yet. The 30 caliber setting up. And at this medium range, the riflemen are actually going to have the upper hand. We also have a Panzerbüchse. But now the machine gun's starting to open fire. The Panzerbüchse was probably in case they did get an early vehicle to counter the Storm Pioneers. But now the machine gun is just tearing into the German infantry. Okay, well, the Wehrmacht is starting to push the Americans back here with some losses. Got the machine gun here for the big red one. Really being pulled forwards. American 30 caliber machine gun is locking down the area, forcing the Waffen SS back. They are bringing up an MG44 though. Americans have managed to secure the fuel points at the trench. And 30 calibers prevented the Wehrmacht from getting into a good position here, forcing them back again. Looks like lots of Grenadiers have been pulled in from the 15th to try and hold the front line, but it might not work out here, as the Americans just keep pushing forwards. But they can use the train tracks, or train carts here, as heavy cover, which will definitely weaken the Americans. That's probably their squad, yeah. 2 good volleys there from the Grenadiers killed them. MG44 has been set up to cover the ground, but the Americans are held in here, and BARs are starting to be handed out to the mechanized troopers. That does mean they cannot get a bazooka though, but a BAR is generally a good weapon in my opinion. Might only have 20 rounds, but it packs a punch. Rock rifle grenades have been upgraded here by the Grenadiers so they can try and lock down the machine guns, which will allow the Grenadiers to start pushing forwards. Will be enough. Pretty clever manages to suppress the Fox Grenadiers, but the Grenadiers make it towards the trench. That 30 caliber has to get out of there, but it might be too late. It's not a 30 caliber to cover its retreat though. But that's not a 30 caliber, that's a heavy echelon, my bad. The 30 caliber is down here, being holded by an MG44. Gamers might try to steal the 30 caliber. Indeed, they steal it. Thinking they can make good use of that machine gun. Oh well, good use there to just grab the American machine gun and turning it on them. Machine guns are pretty useful to have. They can really lock down areas for infantry, as you can kind of see here. Smoke grenade being popped there. Meanwhile, we have the Storm Pioneers, but oh, that's a Foxstorm. Looks like Kakabu has gone for propaganda tactics. And they're using a Foxstorm squad to quickly supplement and replenish the Storm Pioneers for cheap. Because that's the thing you can do. You just merge Foxstorm into the squad to make them replace them a lot cheaper. But they will have the skill level of Foxstorm, so they will not be as good. But it's a cheap way to keep them up to par. Now we also have some Foxstorm along these squads. Well, the Americans are slowly creeping forwards, but the 34 is still down here, keeping them back. We have another MT-34 coming up here. Then sitting up behind this sandbag wall instead. Indeed, we see the Foxstorm being just used to merge in, which is good. But they did lose the entire squad doing that, but still there was cheap replacement. It is a use of them after all, so pretty good to see the usage of it. Fort HQ has been established here near the front line by the United States. With a caliber handout to an American rifleman squad. But it might be overrun here by all these Grenadiers, quickly getting accurate shots in. That wooden building won't last for long. And here we have a command Panzer II tank. Panzer II command tank, rather. Unique to Panzer Division, I think. Pretty decent little light tank to have early on with an autocannon. Good for supporting the infantry, I could call in artillery strikes. Command tanks are essentially tanks that are designated with extra radio equipment to, you know, serve as a command role. It's kind of the whole point. It's like a mobile command station. Overseeing the front line. Command, fighting position being overrun there. We do have an 80 gun coming up, but there's a lot of Grenadiers to cover for it. But the 80 gun has to just pull back, I think. Yeah, the accurate rifle fire is already beginning. Panzer II moving up here. But has to pull back because it doesn't want to get hit by the 57. Panzer II is going for it. Close to the 80 gun, they managed to pull back safely. Artillery strike quickly being called here by the Panzer II command tank. Yeah, right on the machine gun. It's gonna be rapid fire. Crew taken out on the 80 gun. The Germans could just keep pushing here potentially. And the American position is not looking healthy. And that Panzer II command tank is just doing a lot of hurting here. Maybe we'll be just have a silent situation on the other flank. But the Americans are losing an open flank. Unless they pull some more support up there. And the tank rifle manages to hit the engine block. Blue and grey now being pulled in. Cheaper rifle you can get if you're playing as US rifle. had a very high casualty rate. I think like 200% or 300% casualty rate, which is pretty obnoxious. Oh, they didn't penetrate. 57 bounced off the front of the Panzer II. The ideas are trying to get closer. Postgun is leading the way too with their MP40s. Ready caliber trying to set up inside the building. Drive grenades being used. They're trying to take out the rifleman. German infantry falls back. Realize they cannot win that engagement. Meanwhile, we have the more Volkssturm calling here, as well as Untersturmführer to oversee the front line. And while the American mechanized troopers just dig in further and further, digging in quite heavily here. It'll be hard to dislodge. Until they've been calling here by the Untersturmführer. Looks like it might be a mortar strike, smoke mortar strike. Yeah, it's just smoke. And with that, the Sturm Pioneers and the Volkssturm pushes forwards with the smoke. But the Americans do have a sideline here. Grenades being tossed into the smoke. Grenade assaults from the Germans. That's actually how you do it. You smoke and then you do grenade assaults. But the Germans have to pull back after that. Volkssturm squad is going to go down. But I don't think it achieved that much, to be honest. More German grenadiers are holding up the front line here. Panzer II command tank is ready again. We do have an MG42 manned by some Panzer grenadiers moving forwards. Damage engine from the 57. Oh, that was actually a recoilless rifle, never mind. Volks grenadiers getting ready behind the building here. Building collapses. What's it been calling here on the American lines? This might be actual artillery. Yep, actual light infantry guns firing in. Not hitting much. The grenadiers quickly take up position in the trenches. And 30 caliber opening fire. Indeed, they're getting suppressed down there. They cannot do much from that trench at the moment. Command tank moving up. Pulling in artillery, probably aimed around the command building. Old command post. 57 quickly trying to get into a position where they can shoot. But artillery has been successfully called in. Frontal armor is holding up. Indeed, light infantry guns are landing shot straight at there. Another shot hits the command tank, causing it to get dazed. But it keeps pushing forwards. But it's very vulnerable now, and there we go. One shot through the destroyed shit, takes it out. Command crew pops out. Rifle grenade. Did a decent job there, but there's still too much coming the Germans' way. MG42 has been suppressed. But the Americans cannot replenish here anymore. Because they've lost the 4 HQ. They're trying to set up another one, but it might be a folly at this point. Especially now with the command team also there to just pressure them. And the southern flank, the Americans keep holding up here. Even setting up a medic station back here and another forward headquarters. And even a medic themselves. So the Americans are quite firmly dug in. E2 Sherman is also being prepared. But the Wehrmacht has pushed through successfully, grabbing all the equipment they can. They're trying to destroy that machine gun. Will they be able to hit it? Taking them off and load at 57, and they didn't really do much. Hack how it's surviving here in the United States. Decent little American artillery weapon. Have an A2 Sherman arriving. Looks like it's gonna be on the northern flank to support. Yeah, because the Big Red 1 has suffered heavy losses by the looks of it. It's gonna take some time to get more of their reserves up. But the Wehrmacht is going to start digging in and using all the captured equipment they can. It's actually even tank crew members that are using the AT gun here from the command team. I suppose one being loaded by the Sherman. Kills someone there on the sandbag wall. The wall held. Should still avoid getting too close to them. They don't know if they have Panzerfaust prepared. 57 man prepared with the Sherman. That's going to force it back. Also, the 80 gun team is being pinned down. The shields are really protecting them from that angle after all. The pack house was opening fire. And the Germans just decide to pull back from that a little bit, especially when the pack house starts hitting. Another 30 caliber signal as well. Another artillery strike being prepared down here. So there might be another smoke. Yep. And the Storm Pioneers are being pushed forwards again with the implemented Volkssturm. But they get suppressed. So that assault is basically over, I think. They need the Americans managed to prevent that assault from doing anything. Very good play. And we have another Sherman arriving up here. Need 2 from the Big Red 1 now. A good defensive setup here by the Americans. They're covering all the angles here. Having that medic station just back there is really helping them just stay in the fight. Well, the Germans have set up their own little HQ in this little shit. Also, the Shermans are paying to push up. 57mm doing its best here. You do have a medic bunker being planted here by the Germans. A commander bunker, actually. Being upgraded with a Sanitäts. With Sanitäter, so medics. Germans doing a lot of work here. Meanwhile, the Germans are trying to push up again. I don't think it's bugged. I think it's just because you're using tank crew to man it. You need to use either higher quality infantry or actual crew members from an AT team to load it faster. Because I believe the skill of the crew does actually affect it, but I'm not sure. Oh, good shot with the pack outs. And the Shermans are now really wreaking havoc on the Wehrmacht's lines. 50 caliber guns are really doing a lot of work. We also have a pack hidden up here in the woods. Trying to take some shots. Got a good side shot there. Oh, it looks like the bulldozer set up some cover there. But the Wehrmacht is suffering heavy losses. Smoke's being popped to block the side of the pack. Very smart. And the fight continues. Meanwhile, down here, the looks like the Waffen actually did do some big damage there. They're also getting a Panzer IV-J, which will certainly be a little bit of a problem. The Americans do have 80 guns prepared, including an 3-inch gun and anti-tank teams. So they are ready for that. Now the Sherman remains up here. Wehrmacht is still recruiting with their Grenadier. And we have another Sherman arriving. Looks like the frontal cover is someone helping alongside the bulldozer blades. If it does give more health. No, actually, 25% increased frontal armor. That's pretty good. But it got penetrated there by the Panzer IV-J. Sherman manages to back off. Mthis remains down here as the Americans dig in again. Stoop D being prepared. And he cannot really move around. There's too many machine gun shots coming their way, suppressing them. MG42 has been upgraded on one Grenadier squad. Will certainly increase that firepower. MG32 has also been recruited here. Reloading it. Repair station set up by the United States. So they go full in for an armored game here. First DC-8 is being prepared by the mechanized troopers.
Sherman ready to go.
As the bulldozer Shermans are also getting ready for action again. Pack out in the open, getting suppressed quickly. That's why you don't move your AT guns up without any support first. As they get suppressed by the machine guns, as you can see. And there we go, you got decrewed. And using these Shermans with the bulldozers to make more cover. I like it. We don't really see people use the ability, but it actually is pretty useful, I think. Because it creates a barrier that will provide heavy cover and defense. Stuck and Panzer IV is having a little bit of a brawl here. And the packhouse just hits the German lines. Oh, looks like the Sherman got penetrated there. So for the Germans, frontal armor is holding up this time. Shermans are being penetrated bit by bit. Do not underestimate the Stuck. And well, the Wehrmacht infantry still not making much headway, but they are holding up. Panzer IV got penetrated. The Colossus rifle missed. Panzer IV has to pull back. We do have a command Stuck coming in. Beerbox Panzer. This is not technically a command Stuck. This is an observation Stuck. Or artillery observation Stuck. Its whole purpose is to serve as a mobile artillery observation platform for the German artillery crews. Oh, and Sherman's ammo cooked up there. Another good shot from the Stuck. Stuck's doing a pretty decent job here. So like, this is a Stuck that can basically call artillery strikes. That's its whole purpose. It's good to see people using the Stucks though. We don't really see people just go for the Stuck. Because the Stuck is actually pretty reliable in my opinion. I think it has a little bit more frontal armor than the Panzer IV technically. And it's also harder to hit. Ooh, because I forgot a good side shot there on the Stuck. I think you have to pronounce Stuck, not Stuck, so I'm gonna try and pronounce Stuck. Stuck also is pulled back there. And yeah, the Stuck is pretty decent. The Stuck life, as they call it. Also, we also have a Hauptsturmführer from the Waffen-SS up here operating. And to call in a heavy artillery strike on the American positions. Looks like the artillery might go in on the American AT positions. At least that's my guess. Beerbox Stuck got penetrated. Oh, it's going in around here. What kind of strike is it? This is just basic 15 centimeter? Or 10.5 centimeter rather. That's just basic 10.5. Nothing too special.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
What can he actually upgrade to? He can call in a 15 centimeter Feldhaubitze. Okay. It's only one shot, but that's a 15 centimeter shot. So that would be pretty decent, I think. Both Grenadiers are pushing forward here with the MP40s. And the Grenadiers are pushing up afterwards with MG42s. You also finally had some Panzer Grenadiers called in here alongside the Curtis Panzer Grenadier veterans. Okay, so we have all the good stuff coming in now for the Germans. Looks like they're going to be intent on pushing the north, realizing that they cannot really push much in the south at the moment. Now the EC-8 and the 76 arriving here from the United States. Stock is holding up. Yeah, Stock armor really is holding up here, but they have... Oh, they're traffic jamming! Oh no! Beerbox Panzer's going to do his attempt. Got a good shot there in the 76. Got a good shot there taking out the 76. Good job, Beerbox Panzer. E8 is going to be a little bit of a harder nut to crack though. E8 has a lot more frontal armor. Panzergrenadiers are quickly getting into the trench. They are getting a buff, I think. No, not yet. They're not close enough to be stuck. They would get a buff though for fighting close to a vehicle. Panzer IV GA is making its attempt. American infantry pushing up. Artillery strike being prepared here by the Box Panzer. It's going to be just basic 10.5. Precision barrage probably aimed around here. Oh, main guy got destroyed by the EC8. They decide to cancel the barrage, pull back. EC8 got taken out. Stock got penetrated there, that's not good for it. Looks like more artillery from the Hauptsturmführer. There was a blink over there, preventing that couple from being really utilized by the United States by basically making them choke on toxic smoke. Also, the 15 has to pull back, but we have the third veterans here. We have a crazy long firefight up here. The front is just stopped down here. No one's making the move on the southern flank. Hauptsturmführer has been pinned. Another Sherman taken out. This Panzer IV is doing a pretty good job. Blue and grey are suffering heavy losses. They have to pull back to the ground again. Or get pinned, man. They get pinned pretty quickly because they are considered very poor quality infantry. So we have double anti-tank teams out here, but they get really easily hit out in the open. Bazooka hits the tank. Double bazooka hits. Doesn't destroy the Panzer IV though. But forces it back. Looks like the Pioneers are pushing up now. More artillery being called in. Third gen on the Sherman. Stock is doing a very good job here. But it's moving too close. Bazooka doesn't penetrate. It's just like infantry gun, but still. Oh, that's some heavy. Is that oh, that's a Calliope. Doing a lot of damage to the German front line, even destroying a stock. Like, the Germans were actually doing a good counter-assault, and then the Americans pull up with a Calliope and just destroy the counter-assault instantly. All the poor wounded people trying to crawl out of the trench there. Oh, terrible, terrible. War is horrible. Also a Pioneer there. Trying to get to the American lines so he can defect and surrender and get some medical aid potentially. Yes, the Americans are closer than the Germans, but he's probably not going to make it. Yeah, he died there. People are desperate when they are wounded. German A2 being relocated up here. 15 Panzergrenadiers are starting to arrive in the field, so these are higher quality assault infantry to support tanks, so they can do the job a little bit better than the Grenadiers can. Also, the Box Panzer is relocated to stop the A2. Looks like it missed its first shot. But the A2 does not have a good gun that's good enough to penetrate reliably. Rockets being called in. Random rockets just landing everywhere. One of them what? Oh! The Panzerwerfer here, okay. They just had some random shots just landing around. Packhouse has been recovered. Can they pull it back to the line? We do have another EC8 arriving. Box Panzer pushing forwards. Trying to have a duel with the 76, but that is a risky fight. 76 can definitely penetrate reliably. Like that. Hitting the vision block. Panzer IV J also moving up again with Storm Pioneer support this time. Artillery being called in. Just 10.5 centimeter. Storm Pioneers are trying to scavenge out in the open to get some more resources. Panzer IV J is taking hits. The scavenge direct for 35 fuel, that's pretty good. Good haul. I assume the Calliope is almost ready. So the Calliope is ready, and oh, it's still 90 seconds before it's ready. Okay. Pretty long time. Mattcasting is doing a pretty decent job now again. Oh, it's heat rounds. I guess they are dealing with tanks and vehicles a lot, that heat rounds might be considered worthwhile. Speaking of tanks, the Waffen-SS is still calling a Tiger Race. As propaganda tactics calling a Tiger Race once they get to a certain point. But this is going to be a tank the Allies is going to have a little bit harder time dealing with. Unless the Calliope can just pin it down and destroy the tracks. Just some light artillery guns doing some suppressive fire. Not doing much.
Looks like we're getting into the excitement.
One Stormfury remaining around. Tiger Ace pulling up, being supporting the Panzer Grenadiers here. She probably had destroyed the cover, and looks like it's been careful not to. But this Sherman is gonna die. Yeah, there we go, ammo cooked. 188mm shield straight from the front. It's very hard for a Sherman to stop an 88mm shell. The 88mm gun of the Tiger and the King Tiger and such is a pretty damn good and impressive gun, I believe. I think a lot of Allied tanks had issues dealing with the 88mm. Let's see, and the Grenadiers remain digging in. Gearbox Stuke is being repaired quickly. Yeah, you can see the Grenadiers, Panzer Grenadiers are getting their mechanized assault buff here, being close to the Tiger Race. Making them far better at their job, like less likely to be hit, they do more damage, they fire faster, reload faster, just everything is better about them if they're near a tank or a vehicle. But what can the Allies do? Are they planning anything else? Because the Germans are slowly building up to try and do another counter-assault. Because they're going to use captains pushing up, probably a little bit too much in the zone. They can cover behind this shed. Calliope opening fire, but some of the rockets are hitting the trees here, which is unfortunate. Oh, but they get some good shots here. They killed one of the Panzer Grenadiers. Not doing too much damage, but killing a Panzer Grenadier squad is always nice. Good strike being called here by the Gearbox Panzer. It's just going to be another 10.5 centimeter. And this area is just getting flattened compared to the other side. And not nearly as much damage down here. Panzerwerfer opening fire. Yeah, it fires a lot slower now. I like that. Looks cooler. Looks a lot cooler when it fires slower like that. We also have a priest coming out here for the rifle comedy soon. An American 105mm howitzer on the Sherman chassis. Essentially designed to be in a mobile artillery piece. Gonna play a oh, the Tiger's pushed too far forwards. Oh, its arm is not holding up. Bazookas and 76mm Shermans penetrated his front. He has to pull back rapidly here. And he comes down. Would not hold up against the 76mm. Panzer IV down. Gearbox Panzer might get overrun. There we go. And that's Shermans for you. Panzer Fausto, take down one Sherman. The closer the Shermans get, the higher chance they have to penetrate, so essentially having a beat close essentially denied the Germans the armor advantage. Artillery coming in. And the priest has arrived, ready to play its sermon. 105mm sermon. More scavenging quickly being done here by the Germans, quickly trying to get anything they can out of it. Looks like the Tiger rig got completely destroyed, so they can't get anything out of that. Indeed, the sermon has begun. 105 singing. Not the most accurate howitzer here, but it's just doing a lot of saturation, and that's fine. Being able to saturate your enemy will keep them on their toes. Because stuff like this happens, where it just randomly suppresses things near. What's it been calling here by the Untersturm Führer? It's probably going to be more light artillery. Lead light artillery and the machine gun. Panzerstrike now on the field. Try and deal with that Sherman. King Tiger is being prepared, however. We might actually see a Königstiger on the front line. Tiger II. Sherman gets hit by the Panzerstrike, forces us back. The American mechanized troops are just keeping their EC8s in reserve, waiting for their next move. They're probably waiting for the rifle company to do the next big assault. And most of the fighting has just been up here for some reason. I guess they just really like fighting over this little trench. More shells coming in. There's 10.5, but nothing too special. Lots of Shermans have been prepared from the rifle company. Calliope is driving close. They're gonna do a full-on assault, I think. They're just waiting for the Germans to get into positions. And yep, rockets are firing. Oh! Oh, that's painful. The Wehrmacht just got completely crippled. And now the Shermans are pushing forwards. Panzer 4J down. The Americans can start pushing forwards. But the King Tiger has arrived. Panzerwerfer is trying to force the Americans to pull back, but the rockets are sitting behind. Panzerwerfer is trying to get out of there. So the Shermans cannot see it. But they can definitely hear that engine. Or can they? There it is, and there's the King Tiger. Misses his first shot, that's not a good show. But the Shermans see the King Tiger and decide they have to get out of there. They're not the one that cannot escape, that can escape. And they're gonna attack the one that's been detracked. Oh boy. Now the Allies have to deal with that all of a sudden. We're grabbing an MT-42 off the ground, but I have to get out of there. Now, how are the Allies going to deal with a King Tiger? Because this thing is nigh impenetrable from the front by most American equipment. Bazookas, though. Oh yeah, they got a good shot there. I said the radiator, they hit the exhaust. Okay. Unfortunately, it looks like the EC8s are not springing into action. They could probably have done to move a flanking maneuver there. An IP opening fire. We just need to keep that thing pinned down. And that so far is working. The artillery is kind of pinning that King Tiger down. And the priest is also doing its job. King Tiger is gonna need a lot of repairs. Those bazookas got really close, did a lot of work. Even if only one of them penetrated, it did do a lot of damage. All you need is just one good penetration. And even the heaviest of tank is in trouble. Indeed, the Germans are quickly mobilizing everything they can to repair it. Realizing it's kind of a linchpin on their defense at the moment. They need to keep this thing operational.
Get ready, guys.
Americans pulling range guns, more Sherman 76s. Easy hits on the move. So they're gonna try and push southwards potentially. The Germans have dug in. Not that much actually. They do have a pass strike ready though. Just be completely silent on the southern flank. More scavenging around from the German side, good to see. And King Tiger is being repaired.
Send your orders. Armor ready.
Oh, and yeah, they might be preparing for a push southwards. And they're actually making a move now. You have the mechanized troopers to do it. The Germans realize they're being assaulted on the southern flank now. But the assaults are really going as they intended. But heavy cover is really holding up. Looks like some American great assault they managed to get through up here. Basically clearing out this entire block. But the King Tiger is almost operational. Rifle grenades being used here by the United States. Doesn't hit though. So the Germans maintain this little position here. And the Germans are assaulting on up north again. To be calling in by the United States captain. No, not the cap. What's the captain? Might have been. King Tiger's pushing up slowly. Americans are lacking in... They actually have 2-3 inches, but it's not really doing anything. Frontal arm of the King Tiger is too high. The Stuck, however, or Stuck, is getting penetrated. Yep, Stuck gets taken out. But the King Tiger is just... The frontal armor is just too high. Heat round loader taking out the crew of one. American mechanized troops are pushing up. They've cleared out the area down here. Also use the Calliope. Stuck G moving up to try and intercept. Artillery strike being used here in the American positions. Could be 10.5. Yeah, it looks like it's 10.5.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
Wagner says his base is in jeopardy now. If the Americans decide to push, they can threaten all the command trucks. King Tiger's on the move though, with Panzer Grenadiers for support. Will fire very well when they stay near it. Bazooka doesn't penetrate the front there. Grenades being tossed. Or Blink Corpus actually. Or by Great Assault. King Tiger pushes forwards. The stop it, to stop it. But the American is stopping the Panzer Grenadiers as they try to get through the smoke. But I feel the Americans need to consider something to try and stop that King Tiger. Oh, but looks like they're just going all out for an assault here on the Waffen-SS base. We have Thunder Run Shermans being pushed forwards. They're just going to completely overrun the Waffen-SS base down here, I think.
We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
Exhaust damage in one. Yeah, they're just going all out. They're just going to sacrifice all these Shermans, or well, not be a sacrifice, but threaten the Waffen-SS too much. Sherman taken out. ECH should have probably have been moving up. Probably not a lot of coordination going on.
Combat unit ready for action.
Plus they got the stock though. King Tiger remains up here, taking some damage, takes on an ECA. Looks like I got hit by bazooka probably, or an ECA managed to penetrate it. Never know. Ship is not making havoc through the... Oh, but it showed its flag to the flak gun. And the 3.7 centimeter flag at that range can penetrate the sides and rear of a Sherman. But gunner now killed. But the Mthis' base is getting completely wrecked. King Tiger's pushing forward somewhat. Just trying to apply pressure. And so far it is holding up. Antigone is ready to move up again. Take out the pack howitzer. Sherman under flank. Using smoke, very smart. Oh, howitzer hit straight on it. Vision block is gone. They could probably still take out this. Oh no, the Sherman takes it out. Oh, well that's super rare. That is impressive.
Send your orders.
You see it's some pain to make that move. They're first getting into position over here.
Make sure you got enough rounds. Ready. Hit him with the coax.
Oh boy, but that Sherman took out the King Tiger in that situation. That was cool. That was really cool, not gonna lie. ECH continues to pressure up here. Stoke G is having a long-range firefight, which is working for now. But I cannot keep this up forever, I think. The stock is best at long-range combat, so... But the fire rate of the EC8 is just really gonna show. Yeah, there we go.
Hot is in action.
Plus the EC8 is just a good tank. Artillery called in. But the allies, I think, have the upper hand here.
Sherman ready to go.
And the Wehrmacht is running dry on troops.
Armor here.
And the Waffen-SS is still trying to recuperate. They have like no infantry at the moment. Oh,
Ready for action.
what can they do at this point? But the Wehrmacht still has some infantry here to try and shut up the front line.
Crew ready.
They actually have a lot of infantry. The Americans barely have anything. If they can take it out Sherman, actually, they could probably start advancing. How? Well, they are grabbing packs and all the equipment off the field if they can get it. We should be able to help them. Not looking good there. Antigone is doing another assault. Toss a grenade to that machine gun, forcing it back. Well, down here looks like we have some Volkssturm Panzerjägers on the field now. Sneaking around. Waiting for a Panzerfaust ambush right there.
Send over. How can we help?
No, so the Sherman's just ripping into the Grenadiers here. They're trying to get close enough for Panzerfaust, but it's not really working out. Not when there's two 30 calibers and a 50 caliber from one tank shooting at you. Including a 30 caliber back there. Because people forget that the machine guns on a tank are just as good as the heavy machine guns, I think. Technically. Because they're basically the same machine guns. So if you attack a tank frontally with infantry in the open, they will get suppressed. Is a ranged Karma going for a second King Tiger? Oh my god, they're going for a second King Tiger! Oh god! Okay. I guess they're banging everything on the second King Tiger. Is Kakapo going for a Tiger Ace then? Well, they are scavenging everything they can, but I'm not sure the Tiger Ace needs fuel. Probably does. Calliope just scanning off the Germans again. And indeed, we have another Tiger Ace. Looks like I did use fuel, unless I'm blind. So now, suddenly the Germans have 2 more tanks with 88s coming up. But will it be enough? Because the Americans can just pin down the King Tiger again, I'd wager. And the Tiger Ace is just a normal Tiger tank, so its armor is not nearly as impressive at this point in the war. Like the EC8s can easily penetrate the frontal armor of the normal Tiger tank. But if the Volkssturmpanzer take a spot for it, then they should be fine. Because they can take their long-range shots without having to get too close. You know, the Americans are pushing on the commander bunker up here. It takes a while for that King Tiger to arrive. Completely understandable. It is a very, very heavy tank. EC8 has been spotted. So far its front armor is holding, but it's still taking deflection damage. Lots of tank hunters from the United States here. Oh, they've been spotted. What spotted them, I wonder? They got us though. 1 Sherman down. Ammo cooked. Probably taken out by that 88 heat right here. Yep, looks like it. Damage just holding on for that King Tiger. Priest is moving pretty close now to the front. And here's the King Tiger again. Königstiger numero 1. Numero 2, my bad. I do not know any Spanish, so why am I even saying this? Got some water here for myself. It's a pretty long match. An hour long, basically, at this point. Another Panzerwerfer arriving. Tiger Ace is doing its best here. King Tigers are going to reveal itself shortly. I think the Allies already know it's coming. Yeah, I think the Americans realize there's a King Tiger coming. But can they stop this one this time? You know, the fighting continues heavily down here. Calliope's opening fire. Just hoping they can get a lucky rocket in. So for no rocket, it's sitting close. Oh boy. Well, looks like they might try and overrun it. Oh, looks like all the tank hunters are running back. King Tiger's turning very weirdly here. It's not the most maneuverable tank, that's for certain. But his frontal armor is holding up. But can it hold up against all this? Oh, 1 penetration. That's 1 penetration too many. Once your tank is penetrated, it's generally a good sign that you have to just pull out of it. Because the lower health you have, there's a higher chance a shot will just randomly do an ammo rack on you, which will instantly kill the tank. Oh, the King Tiger is still trying to get a shot in here. It's going to load a high explosive rounds. Taking out the machine gun team, or most of them. Which makes them an easy target for the Panzer Grenadiers. The Panzer Grenadiers are doing a pretty decent job here, all things considering. They are pretty good at what they do, so... Tiger Ace remains down here. But I don't think the Waffen-SS can hold on for much longer against all this. The Wehrmacht's Tiger is still... not Tiger, is it? King Tiger keeps pushing forward somewhat. If they can just take out the 80-gun teams, they should be fine. Hansgard is trying to get close. But I've been suppressed. Too many M1 Garants. And the 50 caliber on the Priest. Oh, they blink Corbett the pack. That's actually smart. Well, I don't think the blink Corbett actually kills. I might be mistaken. But it does cause a lot of damage over time, as you can see. Well, Sherman's going for it. They're going to try to surround it. That's actually the right move. Oh, yeah. That's how you overrun a King Tiger. Nice. Glad we got that on camera. Glad we got that on camera. And now the Shermans just go overrun the German positions, and at this point the Germans surrender. I don't think the Waffen-SS could have done much either at this point, but good match. Good match. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you next one. Bye bye.